personally, a lot of this has to do with church silence, right? Why aren't churches speaking up politically? And I know that the church was involved politically before and during the revolution, very much so. Even some of them recruiting their own congregations to fight, like the famous pastor Peter Muhlenberg, right? So how involved was the church post-revolution in politics? After we've won our freedom, how involved were they post-revolution?
Yeah, so there is the two main waves that I focus on in my writing and speaking. And if anyone's interested, AmericanMinute.com is my website. But the 1600s, you have Calvinist Puritans who have a covenant plan of government where we all, as citizens, as equals, can rule ourselves without a king. But everybody's got to be involved, and we're all in covenant with each other and with God. And it worked for a century. But after a while, it got a little dry. It was just the plan. And they were nicknamed Old Lights. And you had David Brainerd, a young man, expelled from Yale because he said his professor was as spiritual as a chair. And then you had Yale reprimanding their students because they were going into town and approaching people publicly with the gospel. It's like, hello? It's like they didn't like get into a drunken brawl. They weren't like smashing windows and setting cities on fire. They were like presenting the gospel. Yeah, and Yale considered that an embarrassment and reprimanded the students.
Well, that's crazy.
And the extreme of this plan focusedness was that God even planned who's going to go to heaven and who's going to go to hell. So don't even bother evangelizing. It's all, and so these people got called Old Lights. And so you have coming into America in the early 1700s, New Lights. Now, who are they? Let's go back to Martin Luther starts the Reformation in 1517 because he had a personal experience with Jesus and the understanding of the scripture, the just shall live by faith. And he has the trial, the diet of worms, and they say recant. And he said, unless you can prove me wrong from scripture, here I stand, so help me God. So it was very personal to him. But some German princes want to break from Rome. And they said, we've been waiting for our chance. This is it. And they say, kingdom of mine, guess what? I just decided you're all now Lutherans. And so they say, great, we're Lutheran. What do we believe? And so for the people in the kingdom, it's not the same personal experience Martin Luther just had. It's a new state doctrine, a little more scriptural focused, but it's just a state doctrine. And so a revival movement starts called Pietism that said being a Christian is more than state doctrine. You have to have an experience with Jesus. And when you do, your life will change and you won't do worldly things that you used to do, like go to bars and brothels and lewd theater and get involved in government. Wait, what was that last thing? Yeah, government. It's filled full of worldly people. If you're really a Christian, you will not be involved in government. And there were even German princes that donated money to the Pietists so they would teach their people not to get involved in the prince's business. Like, here's some more money, stay out of my hair, you know? And so it turned into the German concept of the two kingdoms, the kingdom of the government, the kingdom of the church, the two don't touch. And 4 centuries of that allowed Hitler to put Jews on train cars. And they're going right by the church, screaming out for help. And the church's response was, well, that's the government doing that. And we're the church, and that's their circle. And this is our... And so let's just sing praise songs to Jesus louder.